Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Virgo solar eclipse reading. The second new moon in Virgo, and 29 degrees on the 21st of this month. The last or first new moon in Virgo was late August in 0 degrees of Virgo. So this is important because in between these two new moons, was a lunar eclipse, and the second new moon in Virgo is a solar eclipse. And eclipse season tends to intensify the energies and magnify the messages that we are being prompted to open ourselves to. With the star card, you are being opened up to a vision. This can be a very clear vision of something that you would like to concretely see. That's the exception. This is usually a sense of improved life quality, not just for you, but for everyone. So I would call the star something in the category of a better world. And this is resonating for you, particularly from your foundation, your root chakra, your understanding of how humankind can sustain itself. This is about the survival of the species, and you're contributing to that in some way. Underneath the deck, the Knight of Pentacles, you're creating a plan. You're not only holding your vision, but you are shaping out an outline of a procedure to approach this vision that you have. And it's interesting because not only Virgo, the sign of the two new moons, but your sign, Gemini, is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is about the sorting, the discriminating, the clearing out, the decluttering, in order to make space for something new, something that you are challenged by, that you are yet to fully understand, that you must flesh out, so to speak. I'm going to pull a crystal oracle card to get us started here. And I pulled the Shungite, and the key word is discipline. I practice the art of discipline, and it brings freedom to my soul. I love this. So this is the part of you that really wants to understand how to be productive, what the next steps are, how to outline a plan that's loose enough to remain flexible, one of the qualities of the mutable signs, but also that is in the direction around greater service to humankind. In the 10th house, this is where others see you and where you locate yourself in your social space. The Ace of Pentacles is all about a new path to abundance. And in the 10th house, this is not just abundance for you. This is abundance for everyone in your community, in your world. This can be not only you recognizing a new direction, a new profitable or productive direction, but you actually offering opportunities to others as a part of this new project, this new plan moving forward, so that your abundance is something that you understand at every level is shared with others. It is intended to be part of your mission to provide access to not only the abundance that you are generating, but to the means, the steps, the tools that will generate this abundance for you and consequently for others. It's almost as though you're turning a key here. And this is really coming from a vision. It's almost like you're re-meeting or reconnecting with your God-given gift, your talent, your special, unique attributes that allow you to see and understand comprehensively and simultaneously the details and the big picture. In the first house, the Seven of Wands is describing your mundane energy, your routine perspective at this time. In order to move in a direction that you are choosing, in many ways you are creating, you must keep your defenses up. You must speak out for yourself. You cannot allow others to encroach upon your space. You are saying no to things that you have often said yes to. And this is easy for you, easier perhaps than it's been before. The idea of denying people that you've always served can be challenging. But if you prioritize this particular gift that humankind is waiting for, then you understand how important it is to devote yourself to the exercise of this gift, to focus, to defend yourself from encroachments, to be clear about your boundaries. And in the fourth house, the house of your home, your soul, your foundation, the Ten of Swords. Wow, I can almost feel the sense of suffering, hardship, and challenge draining away from you. Much like this photo, this picture, which can be pretty alarming. The things that give us heart are the death of ideas that are no longer yours. They're no longer relevant to you. They no longer are ideas or systems you believe in. And in fact, your attempt to comply to those is what has worn you out, worn you down. Tens are always about change. They're about a revolution, the wheel turning over. And so this is the transition period that is opening you up, making space for something new, making space for this new project, new idea, new effort that you are considering, that you're a part of. In the seventh house, significant others, the Four of Cups. Your relationships are leaving you dissatisfied, perhaps undone, unclear, waiting around, expecting something that you don't feel that you've received. And it's interesting because you have cultivated this practice of moving towards things that support you, moving towards ideas and people who recognize your value. And at the same time, and that's what's gotten you to where you are now. And yet you're still recalibrating your emotions, reprogramming your thoughts. And so what is for you, you may not recognize, or you may be looking around the gift that the universe is giving you. If this gift is not something that you now determine you don't want, you also know that you can manifest something that is a match for you. There's a recognition here that you've grown and you've established a new foundation for yourself, and thus the things that once satisfied you are no longer satisfactory. They fall short. And this is some of the dissatisfaction, the restlessness that you're experiencing. You thought things would be like X. Why aren't they like X? And that can lead you to this sense of discontentment. If this reading is resonating with you so far, Gemini, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the ways that you support me in growing my channel. It is important to me that more people get to see the work that I do. So thank you in advance for that. In the first house, the Seven of Wands is clarified by the Ten of Swords. Again, a repeat, and the Ten of Wands. Whoa. You know, it almost feels like something has shifted at your base, at your family. Perhaps you have inherited some concerns, materials, challenging situations, debts that you are expected to resolve. And not only do they represent a former way of life for you, but they also represent things that were not resolved on behalf of someone else or by someone else. So there is a huge amount of change that you are dealing with, and you're dealing with it by kind of walling yourself in and putting your nose to the grindstone. It feels like this is taking you off task of this big, beautiful vision that you have, and yet this is the task of your big, beautiful vision. And a part of you knows this, and a part of you is struggling to understand how working through a complexity of, it feels like dead issues, old issues, and why the word debt comes up. A lot of debt can be discharged on the passing of someone, but there's things that are hanging over you and are taking an immense amount of time to tie up and let go, to close out. So the issue of closure feels like it's material, it's situational for you. It's not just releasing old beliefs, but it's about really decluttering, clearing away space. This can be as a result of leaving a job and moving to a new one, leaving one location, going to a new one. There's all of the moving, packing, releasing, giving away that's required in that effort so you can get to the space of surrender. And you can thus make room for your focus on this doorway of abundance that is open to you. The Ten of Swords in the fourth house is clarified by the Queen of Swords. Whoa. And the Knight of Cups. How interesting. And you, Gemini, are the sign of the twins, the mind and the heart. Here we have it in the home. So it's more of this idea that you have the aptitude, the clarity, the logic to cut through the unnecessary rhetoric, paperwork, detail, to understand the bottom line. You also have the thirst for a gentler experience, one that you're calling into your life, one that you are posing against the way that you were conditioned to understand things had to occur. And now you are in a place where you recognize that you can be open as you approach a new opportunity, and you resort your experience of relationships, of your own value, of your own desire for connection with others. In the seventh house, the Four of Cups is clarified by the Ace of Cups and the Seven of Swords. This is, I have a very clear image of your recognition of all the ways that you have been betrayed, rejected, dismissed, criticized, not taken seriously, and all the ways you now realize that you took it. And that's your sense of my naivete, my gullibility, my innocence. Why did I walk into that? Why have I acted a fool? But the truth of the matter really is that you don't know how to act in the way that others have acted towards you, and particularly those that have acted maliciously. Your only way of understanding or coping with that is to respond with love. And true enough, it can sometimes be the default. And in some way, you have minimized its effectiveness and your maturity, your integrity as responding in this way. But there is no accident about this. No matter what they throw at you, you simply love back. You simply recognize that everyone doesn't have your understanding, your desire to understand, your uh, uh, comfort in interacting with others, your willingness to be transparent, to talk about things. This is just who you are. You give back with love. You give. When things are taken from you, you give. You don't give in kind because you're better than that. You give in the way that you'd like to receive, and that is with love. This is so lovely. In the 10th house, the Ace of Pentacles is clarified by the Four of Cups, another repeat, and the Justice card. Yes, yes. So now this discomfort, this restlessness, this sense that things are not looking the way you thought they would look when you reach this particular place in your life or a place in your career, that you are restless, that you have to wait on other people to catch up with you, or that your ideas are not understood when they're coming from a place of your gifts, your talents. But this is in many ways the harmony and balance that you seek. You don't mind being the person who has to lead the way by example. You don't mind being the person who has to stand up against the crowd think, against the mob. You don't mind being the person who innocently states and shares a belief that counters the status quo, because that reveals your inner balance, your self-acceptance, your belief in the value that you bring, without having to bend, twist, or shape yourself into any form that isn't authentic to you. You know that abundance is being created, that you're sharing access to that abundance with others. There is no right or wrong way to that. Your way is one that gives you complete satisfaction in knowing that you're doing all that is required of you to center this effort in a way that can be maximally participated in, that others can participate in to the fullest. A better way of saying it. I'm going to finish up this reading, Gemini, with a seed and sickle, and I pulled the Belladonna. And always two come up. Belladonna is number 20, which is the Judgment card. And it's also the High Priestess, two elements of the same idea. And the High Priestess is particularly relevant now because the eclipse energy is giving a lot of information, intuitive information, compulsion to clear, cleanse, purify, and simplify. And the Judgment does that. The Judgment card talks about that in an external way, a way in which you understand and fully see the point of your mission, the point of your existence. So I'm going to look up Belladonna in the guidebook, and it reads, Belladonna is a card of inevitability and sacrifice. There's a conflict inside of you, making it difficult to focus on the task at hand. The shears of Atropos, the Greek goddess of fate who gives Atropa, Belladonna, its name, are snipping as the threads that you've carefully put into place. They're snipping at the threads you've carefully put into place. Perhaps it is time to sit back and consider where things have become entangled. You may have to place some of your other projects aside to stop the main one from becoming completely knotted. If you enjoy this content, check out more content here. Thank you for your likes and subscribes. Until next time, Gemini, namaste.